Yeah, Coach, your reaction to Joe Fouché and Bumper Pool on their SEC Co-Defensive Player of the Week?
Yeah, I think it's a great honor, and I'm happy for them. Obviously, they had good games and were helped by their teammates to receive those honors, but very, very proud of them, happy for them.
Tom.
Hey, Sam, I know win or lose, every week coaches are looking to get better. And I'm wondering what your thoughts are on the time of possession and the run game offensively, where you stand with that, where you're headed.
Well, we have to get better. I mean, obviously I think injuries have a little bit to do with productivity on Saturday, but Traylon Smith came in and ran extremely hard. Our timing still a little off on offense. We were better Saturday than we were the week before, so that's encouraging. But we have to run the football, and we're just not doing it at our standard yet. But I believe that we have the players to do it, and we're going to work extremely hard on that this week. The time of possession, the way that we run our offense, I'm not for sure we'll ever win the time of possession battle.
Bob.
Yeah, Sam. Some of your players have never won an SEC game. For others, the older guys, it have been a really long time. So those kids deserve to have a nice celebration. But how do you bring them back down to earth? I know Mike Leach said after the game maybe Mississippi State didn't have the same edge they did at LSU after a big win. Well, what's the key to keeping your kids focused and kind of bringing them back down to earth after such a big win?
I don't think it's going to be a problem. I'm going to show them this afternoon why we won, and I'm going to show them, we always have a good, bad, and ugly video that I talk about to the team. I'm going to show them why we had success, what we had to work on to get better, and some things that are unacceptable, and we'll get them all fixed. But the bottom line is we practice all of an hour and a half on Mondays, and we put the game to bed in the first half of our meetings and talk about Auburn and where we're going in a second. I don't think it'll be one bit of problem. I really don't. I know our coaching staff has moved on, and our players used to do what we do.
Scotty.
Hey, Sam, just going back to week one, Hudson Henry was flagged a couple times and really got popped on one of his targets. But how did you see him bounce back Saturday, and what did you think in terms of his week-to-week growth?
Who are you talking about?
Hudson Henry.
Hudson, yeah. I think he's just getting better each week. It was awful nice to see him, another Henry, get in the end zone for the Razorbacks. But I think he's growing every week. I'm proud of him. He's getting physical in the blocking game, and he's just a freshman, a redshirt freshman. So I think he's going to be a really, really good player for us, and I think he's doing a nice job. I'm proud of him.
Hutch.
Sam, I know he played a little bit in week one, but Miles Slusher, being a true freshman, getting the start at Mississippi State and then playing a lot of snaps. How do you think he's played so far this season, and specifically on Saturday?
He's a mature guy. I mean, you could tell that in recruiting, and it doesn't seem to be too big for him. He's very confident. He has good athletic skill, and he will hit you. And so I think he's done a really nice job, and awful glad that he's on our team. But he got the right demeanor for a defensive player. He likes to hit, likes to run, and he's smart. He's done a lot. He has improved his being vocal back there. So I was real pleased with the way he played Saturday.
Nate.
Sam, just what do you make of Auburn, and just how kind of weird is it to have the head coach from the previous year be the offensive coordinator trying to dissect your defense?
You know, the part about the offensive coordinator, it's, you know, I don't know how coach will feel about it. You know, you have to ask him, but you know, I was O-line coach at Georgia and we played them, so it's not really a big deal. We're just trying to compete and win the football game. Your first question was
About Auburn, just kind of what do you make of their team?
Auburn, I tell you what, defensively, Kevin Steele, an outstanding coordinator, been in the league for a long time, had success for a long time. You know, they still have those guys up front in Truesdale and, of course, Big Cat Bryant's over there. I really like their linebacker core and Papo and Tut and A.J. Brick. I really like them. They get to the football, obviously, in the back end. You know, they're led by Sherwood back there. But, you know, it's Auburn. And when you go play Auburn, you're going to play one heck of a defense. On offense, you know, they kind of go by Bo Nix and Tank Bigsby, their tailback. Really good player. You know, they run a lot of misdirection, a lot of where's the ball. Obviously, they have the potential to go really fast. So some of those things, you know, obviously Barry's going to have to have a great game plan for that. Their big guy on the outside is Anthony Schwartz, who is faster than fast. And then they got a big wideout in Seth Williams. So I really like their O-line. Their O-line's big. You know, I don't know what they average, probably about 315 a guy. I like them. I think they've got a good offensive football team, good defensive football team. That'll be an unbelievable challenge for us. But, you know, we're looking forward to going up there and playing.
Nikki.
Coach, you had, I think, Eric Gregory listed as the first team or with the OR this week. So how much of that is, you know, based on performance? And then do you expect Dorian Gerald and Julius Coates to be able to go this week?
You know, Eric, if he's listed on the ones in there, or then that's because he earned it, and he had a heck of a football game the other day. And then Coach should be back for us, and Dorian Gerald, we still don't know for sure on him, but Coach should be back, and just got to wait and see a little bit on Gerald.
Dudley.
Coach, obviously it's much easier to recruit when you win. Talk about any feedback you got from the pledges and commitments, and just you know, how it's much easier to recruit when you can talk about a win instead of talk about potential success.
Well, we took a little bit of extra time yesterday to get a hold of our recruits. Obviously, we wanted to talk to them after Saturday. And, you know, a lot of times kids in the state are looking for a reason to go to the University of Arkansas, and hopefully we can give them enough reasons to come here. And so, but the parent, you know, you find the parents were as pumped up as the kids, you know, so I've got different videos from recruits' parents and, you know, hooping and hollering at the game and all that kind of stuff. So it was a lot of fun. We certainly haven't had anybody jump in on us in the last day or two, but hopefully they will.
Jason.
Hey, Coach, I just wonder what your thoughts are on your tackling and your ability to limit the yards after contact defensively, especially after last week, the improvement that you guys have made there.
I think our tackling's been good this year. Obviously, they got players that are supposed to make you miss too, but for the most part, I think our tackling's been good. Our physicality has been outstanding, and sometimes they're going to miss because they're coming up and trying to knock somebody out. We miss more tackles in the third and fourth quarter than we do in the first and second quarter. And we don't miss a whole lot of them, but we do. And I think that goes with as the game flows, and we may be getting a little bit tired and things of that nature. But I've been real pleased with the tackling thus far.
All right, let me know if you've got any questions. Everybody?
Yeah, Coach, how much do you, with the players, given the dynamic, I guess, with Chad Morris being on the other sideline, how much do you go with them like this is a business approach, don't let your emotions get involved, or do you let them use any of that as motivation?
I'll be honest with you, Trey, it's just another football game to us, and we won't mention the fact that Coach Morris was the head coach here. They know it, and, you know, some of them will be, you know, some of them probably loved him, some of them probably didn't, you know, just like any coach. And so we're going to take a business approach to it and go out there and try to do our best.
Tom?
Hey, Sam, I wanted to ask you about an update in the secondary. Chavis traveled, and Kari Johnson and Micah Smith. I didn't see that they got a ton of snaps. And then Devin Bush, I didn't see him. Can you update us on what your depth might look like, if those guys might be back, or what's happening with them?
Yeah, I can. I got to look here. Jerry and Kari, Jalen and Miles, Simeon and Joe, Brown and Chavis. Yeah, I think we're going to be okay there. Bush, like you say, did not travel. Who else did you talk about?
Micah Smith was, I think he was at the game.
Micah was there. Do you want me?
I mean, they're healthy and ready to.
We didn't have a chance to get him in the game. He was healthy.
Hey, Sam, I think Traylon posted on Instagram he was getting an MRI on his knee. Just wondered, do you know the result? Do you know the result of that MRI? And could you give us an update on Rakeem and Monteric, what their status is for this week?
If he's not posting on Instagram, then you wouldn't ask me the question. So we'll get that figured out. He's fine. He'll be back at practice today. Rakeem will as well. And who else did you say?
I'm sorry, but Monteric. You're the only guy I've ever heard call him Mo, but maybe everybody calls him Mo. But I'm talking about Monteric, Busta, you know.
Yeah. He's fine as well. He got dinged up. You know, he may or may not be at practice today, but we feel like he'll be available on Saturday.
Okay. Don't be mad at Traylon.
Well, that's team rule. You don't post about injuries on the internet. So.
Okay. Well, I wasn't trying to get him in your doghouse or anything.
He's not my doghouse. Trust me.
Okay. Thanks.
Scotty?
Yeah, Coach, I was just wondering about Grant Morgan, that left arm. Seems like he played through quite a bit of pain. Is he doing all right? And just your thoughts on his production to this point.
Well, we may have to get the other elbow hurt. If he made 15 tackles, he might get to 20, you know. No, in all seriousness, he's fine. His elbow's sore, but he'll be ready to go. And he's a tough kid. He's a Morgan. His brother was tough too. And imagine everybody in the family is. But he loves to play, and he toughed it out, and he got treatment, and he'll be fine.
Hutch?
Yeah, Coach, I just follow up about Coates. Was he an injury or was it something else? And then also Monte Spivey. I don't think he made the trip either. Is he healthy?
Yeah, both those guys were healthy.
Nate?
Sam, Saturday night, you said they're kind of fits and starts or flashes with the up tempo on offense. Just kind of what does it need to be a consistent, and kind of what's been lacking?
You know, we have to get started at some point. You know, defense had picked it and scored, and then held them again, and then we get the ball back and we're 3 and out. We just can't do that. I mean, our openers have to get us some success, and obviously a little hard on the offense by opening up with Georgia. I mean, that's a different animal right there, and certainly against Mississippi State we had our ebbs and flows in there, but we just have to be way more consistent. We have players that can get open, that we have line that can block. We just, you know, we have to win first down, and we haven't been doing that. You know, 4 more yards on first down. We have to get the series started, and we're just not doing it right now on a consistent basis.
Thanks.
Can't hear you. Carlos.
Coach, felicitaciones. Congratulations for the win. At what point in the game were you feeling scared that maybe you were going to turn 21? That's the first question. And the second, when you say this is the beginning of something good, what do you need to do for this new beginning to keep going the way they went Saturday?
Well, you know, obviously when we fumbled the ball in the exchange down there, you know, if we don't get a first down, we punt, that's plus 40 yards, you know, and we put the ball on the ground, put the defense our defense in a terrible situation, which they came through for us once again on a magnificent 4th down stop. I mean, John Marshall, it was an incredible play by him. And Joe Fouché came in there on that. But as far as how you keep it going, you know, this is a tough year. You know, you have 10 SEC teams. Not to say that your non-conference opponents aren't worthy of the SEC caliber of play, but, you know, you have 10 SEC teams, and it's a hard year. So we're just going to stay the course. We're not going to change. We're going to do exactly what we're doing right now. I think our players believe in us, and we certainly believe in them. And I think that's a big deal, you know, the game prep and having them ready to play. I think if you ask them, I think they'd feel like they're really prepared to go play, maybe see the play before it happens, both on offense and defense. And again, I'm so happy with the staff that we have because they're good teachers and our players believe in them. So I think we're just going to stay doing what we're doing now. We're not going to adjust practice. We're not going to adjust the way we talk to our kids. Let's just go about kind of like I talked about before. We're kind of a blue-collar university and state and football team. We're just going to go get a lunch pail, go to work, and see what happens on Saturday.
Matt Jones.
Let's talk about the improvement from week 1 to week 2 in the special teams, in particular punt and kickoff coverage.
I think the coverage, you hit it. I think the coverage was so much better. We let him outside of us on a punt return. He gained about 20 yards on that one. Other than that, you know, we had to get a little bit more hang time. We were much better of getting off hold-ups on our punt team. You know, people's coming after that shield a little bit. I thought Coach Fountain had a great idea when we rolled away from that internal blocking scheme, block punt scheme that they had there on the last punt. I thought that was a really good, smart to get away from that shield. And so we're evolving. You know, again, we're playing a lot of guys. And, you know, you imagine losing however many guys you do in a game and then going to special teams. And you're looking down your depth chart and there, well, okay, one's out, two's out. Let's move this guy over here. And to be honest with you, that's what happened when we got the penalty coming back. We just didn't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage. We were just lined up too deep. But you talk about COVID injuries, and everybody deals with it, but that's a little bit of a nightmare on special teams that I thought we did a nice job on Saturday with.
Matt Jones.
Yeah, Sam, kind of a two-part question. There's a hurricane that's potentially going to land in the Gulf this weekend. Has there been any conversation with you guys and Auburn or the SEC about how that might affect the game? And then number two, it's going to be raining a lot because of that. How much do you deal with, wet ball practice this week in practice?
As of I know, now you might have to ask Mr. Yurchek, but as I know, there's not been any conversation between us and Auburn as far as if the game's going to be played. Now, there may have been, and I'm not aware of it. Number two is we are aware that there's a great possibility of rain, so we are starting today in practice of throwing and catching and handling and snapping wet balls, and we will do that throughout the week.
Tom.
I had a question for you about Davion Warren. You said Saturday night that he's a great kid. We've gotten that same sense from him as well. I'm wondering what's allowed him to move from kind of being a special team guy to a real contributor on offense. And then the touchdown play, it looked like you set him up with the screen on the play before, ran the same action, got the touchdown. Could you describe that play a little bit?
Well, they just – on both our touchdown passes, they lost guys. They had mental errors in the secondary, it looked to me like. And but Davion has speed, quickness. He can separate on breaks, and he's fast. So he's really done a good job. Coming in here, I didn't know where he would be on the depth chart, even coming into fall camp. But he's, in my eyes, he's a starter in my eyes, because when he's out there, I'm happy he's out there. A lot of times you get somebody out there and you go, oh, man, where's the starter? That's not the case with him out there. He's very, very confident in him. I am.
Bob, last one.
Sam, you were wearing a mask, so we couldn't read your lips on what you said to Mike Woods when he got that personal foul penalty. But wondering if you can give us the gist of what you said that we can put in a family newspaper / website. And Michael's obviously a great kid and a good player. Kind of, you think that was a good learning thing for him?
Yeah, it was a good learning because we didn't lose. No, I just visited with him about we can't. That can't happen. We don't fight in practice for a reason. We do everything in practice exactly like we're going to do it in the game. Exactly. That's tempo, that's physicality, that's fighting, that's when we score in practice. There's no, showboating. We do everything in practice like we expect it done in the game, everything. And for us to get that penalty, it's not smart. And he knows that. And the clock stopped. There's 1:21 left. We had a third down. We could have run the 40 seconds off there and had 41 left, unless, you have a second to run a play and the game's over. And it should have been over.
Did you feel like your message got through to him?
I'm almost positive it got through to him.
Okay, good deal.
All right, that'll wrap us up. Thanks, Coach.